another Reset Pilates. The focus of this session is going to be restorative. So really honing in on our breath work and synchronizing that breath work with all of our movement. We're going to have lots of mobility mixed in with our Pilates practice. So this is recorded with no music, but there is a playlist in the description box if you want to get that started. And then we're going to all join together in a child's pose. So just sitting on the heels, take the knees nice and wide. And then you're just going to reach the arms forward. Just resting the forehead on the floor. Taking a nice deep breath in, breathing into the back and the sides of the rib cage. And then exhale. Inhale, expanding the lungs. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And exhale. And two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly bring yourself all the way up onto your hands and your knees. So shoulders are on top of those wrists. Exhale, scoop the belly button up, curve the spine, and then lengthen the tailbone and the crown of the head away from one another. Cat-cow. Exhale, scoop up. Inhale, release. One more. Exhale, scoop up. And release. All right, we're going to start to take circles around. Extending into the sides of the body. Rolling around on the wrists, seeing how far forward you can go, how far back you can go. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just a little wiggle, morning wiggle, maybe going around the other way. Maybe even the hips come forward in it. Good, just finish the circle that you're on. And then you're going to extend one leg all the way out to the side. You're going to bring the hips all the way forward, squeeze the glutes, and then rock back. Loosening in the spine a little bit more, but also stretching out in the groin. Two. Good. Finish the last one with your shoulders on top of those wrists. Inhale. So same arm as the leg that's out. So if you've got your right leg out, right arm reaches all the way up to the ceiling with a big inhale. And then exhale, feed it through the gap. Getting that nice thoracic release. Inhale. Spiraling open as far as you can. Exhale, feed it through the gap. Maybe even sitting back towards the heel. Inhale, two more. And exhale. Last one. Opening up that body. Exhale, reach it through. And return in center. You're going to tuck those toes under. Now imagine you've got those magnets on those hip bones, and those magnets draw together, engaging through the pelvic floor, through the deep core muscles. Hover the knees off. Really feeling that lower abdomen engage, and then send it all the way up to that downward dog. Shoulders away from the ears, and come back to that hover. And stretch back. For two, and hover. For two, stretch back. Four more. Three. Chest working back towards your thighs. And hold this last one in that downward dog position. Neck is nice and relaxed. Shoulders are free from tension. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. You have a strong, stable base. Scoop the abdominals in and up. Lift the heels up high. And then press them down into the floor. Feel a nice stretch to the calves and rise up. Tailbone keeps reaching high even when you go on those tiptoes. Press the heels down and lift up and press down. Good, one more. Each time you press down, try and push the chest back a little bit further. 3, 2, and 1. Good, lift the heels. And then drop those knees back down. Untuck those toes. And left leg goes all the way out to the side. You rock the hips all the way forward and all the way back. Keep that breath going. Doesn't matter too much which way. I'm taking inhale as I go forward and exhale on the way back. But as long as you've just got that nice rhythmic breathing, you're all good. All right, finish this next one with your hands on top of those wrists. Okay, left arm reaches all the way up to the ceiling, maybe even beyond. And then exhale, feed the arm through the gap. Release that thoracic. Inhale. Maybe even rocking back. All right, one more. And feed it through. Good, nice work. All right, return. Hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck those toes and come back to that downward dog position. Adjust that down dog to wherever feels comfortable. And you're going to start to sweep your right leg away. Keep lengthening that leg as long as possible, taking it all the way up. Now you're going to bring your knee to your nose as the shoulders come forward over the wrists. Curl that spine over and then stretch all the way back. And exhale, scoop, knee to nose. And stretch out. And exhale, scoop. Shoulders come right on top of the wrist. You're really pushing that floor away. And stretch. Okay, hold the leg up nice and high. Bend that top leg. Allow the hips to twist open even more, but try and keep both shoulders facing the floor. Just getting that nice opening to the hip. Good, holding here. Good, and return back, straighten the leg, and then bend that supporting knee down on the floor, untuck those toes. Same thing, knee to nose from here. So round the back, scoop up, and then you're going to extend the leg long, lengthen through the crown of the head, hold the abdominals in and lift the leg as high as you can without dumping in the lower back. So keep the abdominals connected. Really feel that right glute switch on. And exhale, scoop. Curve around, lengthen that back over. And then stretch all the way out. Good, sending the leg as long as possible. Exhale, scoop up. Good, one more time. Good, hold it here. Both hip bones pointing straight down to the floor. Tap the toe and lift. Tap and lift. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Making the leg longer by an extra centimeter each time it lifts up. So it's always going away to go up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it back in and sit back to child's pose. And just give those wrists a little roll. feeling that connection with the floor. And then return back when you're ready. Tuck those toes under. And we'll take it on the other side, lifting up to that down dog. And that left leg reaches along the floor, all the way up. Hands pressing down into the ground, knee to nose. Hug the abdominals in. Shoulders come right on top of the wrist. Knee touches that nose. And then stretch out the hamstrings. And scoop. Stretch. Really bring that weight forward and then all the way back. One more time. Hug it in and stretch. Bend that top leg and allow the hips to twist open, keeping your shoulders square to the floor. Breathing in this position. Good, square everything back. Straighten that leg, lift, rise up into the tiptoes, and then bring that supporting knee down to the floor. You're going to hug that knee to the nose once more. And reach it away along the floor. Crown of the head lengthens in the opposite direction. Exhale, scoop up. And out, so we're just energizing that body. Exhale, scoop. Getting lots of movement to that spine. And one more time. And hold the leg nice and long. Okay, imagine there's a little bonfire under the belly. Scoop the tummy in and up towards the ceiling. And toe tap down. Tap down. Reach the leg. Long to go up. And down. And long to go up. So you feel that left butt cheek really engage, really kick in, really fire up to get that nice active opening through the front of the hip. Imagine you're a tortoise and that coming out of its shell, so that neck just grows longer and longer. Good, last one. Nice work, drop it down and in and sit all the way back. Now as you sit in this child's pose, each time you exhale, I just want you to feel all of your joints soften in the ankles, in the knees, in your hips, your body just hanging here nice and heavy, forehead resting on the floor. One more deep breath. And then help yourself come all the way forward and lie down onto your side. Now you're going to feed one arm forward. You're going to bend your legs up so your heels are in line with your sit bones roughly, and your hands are going to be on top of one another. Okay? Now you're going to reach the top arm further forward, and then it's going to circle all the way around, opening back behind you, maybe bending it in to a little cactus, and then all the way up and over it returns, just straight back on top. And then we extend further forward as high as you can. Spiral open, bend the elbow, really allowing that rib cage to rotate. At the same time, the top knee is reaching forward towards me, and then it goes up and over, and we return. Two more, reach forward and circle. Starting to feel that back really loosen up. As Joseph Pilates says, you're only as young as your spine is mobile. So it's always good just to keep it nice and loosey-goosey. Okay, support your head however you want, whether you hug it in or whether you lie down flat on it. And we're going to stretch out the top leg. Okay, now that leg is at hip height, so it's in line with your hip, or if anything, it's going to be slightly higher. You're going to flex the foot as it extends forward in front of you. Hip bones are stacked and you've got this little gap underneath your waist. You're going to sweep the toe all the way back, pointing it, squeezing the top glute, and then bring it all the way forward, flexing the foot, and sweep it back. So it goes down straight, and then it extends further back, so you get that extension in the hip, and forward, and sweep back. All right, you're going to bring the other hand behind your head, and we're going to join those two together. So as it sweeps back, you're going to allow your upper body to rotate forward, and then as the leg comes forward, it flexes and you spiral open. So you're working in two directions. The elbow's trying to open backwards and the heel is trying to go forward towards the screen. And alternate from these two. Beautiful work. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep that leg super straight, that extra stretch behind the knee. There's always an extra centimeter to find. One more time. Good. All right, bend that leg in. Lie down on your back. Now, the leg that was on top, so for me it was the right leg, the same leg that was on top is going to cross over the knee and you're going to let it fall to the floor. You're going to take hold of that ankle and your knee is going to push away by itself. And at the same time, you've got one side of your pelvis that's come off the floor. You're going to try and work it down towards the mat. Now, it won't touch down, and that's absolutely fine. It just wants to be working in that direction at the same time as the knee pushing away. So this is stretching out a muscle called your tensor fasciae latae, shortened to TFL, which is a muscle that's often responsible for pulling on your IT band. So it's just giving it a nice release and stretch out. Take some deep breaths. You might just even want to close your eyes here just to internalize that focus. Now, if you're not feeling very much of a stretch, you could always bring that left knee up towards your left shoulder a little bit more. Still working the top knee away from you, still trying to pull the pelvis down to the floor. Good, one more. And exhale. Good. Okay, release. And just rolling onto your back. Okay, so we're going to have a neutral spine. So that's that little pocket of air underneath the lower back. The back of the pelvis is melting down. Back of the rib cage is melting down. And back of the head is melting down. Okay, now just watch. Make sure that you just got that apple's distance underneath your chin. So the back of the neck is extending. Okay, if you do hold a lot of tension in the neck, you may find that naturally you're overextended. So just lengthen the back of the neck here. So you just come to about an apple's distance. All right, so you're gonna go back to those magnets and imagine they're pulling together. So we just engage that deeper core layer. Float your arms up to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. Now you're going to slide your right heel softly along the mat at the same time as the arms going overhead. As you inhale and then exhale, imagine you're zipping up a really tight pair of jeans to bring the leg back in. Other side. Slide it slowly along. Now, if you've got a sticky mat, I've got a smooth surface mat, so my heel slides quite well. But if you have a sticky mat, you might need to go super light, or socks. Socks are a good option. All right, now we've got this movement. I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. So when the arms go overhead, with the inhale, you naturally want to flare and let that arch increase. We want to keep the rib cage closed. We want to keep the upper abdominals connected. and then really zip up that imaginary tight pair of jeans. Inhale. So this action of this zip up, pelvic floor, deep abdominals, so that's those that are putting the leg in more than your hip flexor. And send it all the way away. Now they're very, very subtle cues. So it takes a bit of concentration, and it doesn't always happen the first time. It took me a long time to be able to disengage my hip flexors because they love to switch on. The lower abdominals are lazy, and the hip flexors are eager beavers, and they just always want to get involved when we do ab work. So the best cue that works for me is that sensation, that trying to tighten, trying to zip up the tight pair of jeans. So that kind of feeling in and up. Let's just go for one more each side. Good. All right. Now extending both legs away. Arms go overhead. Point those toes. Now activate those legs. Inhale. Lower the arms to shoulder height. They're going to catch your head. We're going to roll up. As smoothly as you can. Keep reaching those toes away. Now your belly button is still pulling back as you go over the legs. So we're not collapsing forward. You've got the abdominals pulling back, the upper body reaching forward, shoulders remain relaxed. It's a nice stretch to that spine for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lengthen and grow through the spine. And then swing those legs around. Let's take that side lying work the other side. So supporting your, first off, your arm is going forward. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked, feet about in line with your sit bones. All right, so top arm reaches further forward, circles all the way around, bends as you open, top knee reaching towards me, and then up and over to come back. And forward, open, creating as big a semicircle as possible. Tuning into that breathing, making sure you're just continuously breathing through the movement. So everything should feel nice and easy. Good, let's take one more thoracic rotation. Good, and then resting on your arm, however you feel comfortable, and stretch, unfold that top leg, stretch it forward, flexing the foot, hips are stacked, little space underneath your waist. Okay, so that core is switched on. Now start to point the toes. You sweep it back behind you, squeeze the top glute so the pelvis doesn't change. It's all in the extension of the hip, and then it sweeps back forward. Keeping it at that tabletop level, that level with your hip. Good, nice smooth sweeps, point the toe to help extend even further back. Yes. All right, then when we're ready, let's add in the thoracic rotation. So bring that top arm. And you're going to fold that body forward, twist it forward as the leg goes back, reaching the elbow, and then spiral open. That oppositional pull, elbow reaching one way, foot reaching the opposite way. Getting all of that release to your back. Good, nice work. All right, let's go for one more sweep. Good, make it nice and juicy on that back. And when you're finished, bring it in, just flipping onto your back. So the leg that you were just working, so left foot crosses over if you were doing the same as me, and then they just drop to the floor. You take hold, you anchor that ankle, knee pushes away, back of the pelvis works towards the floor. To make it deeper, you just bring everything up closer to the right shoulder. And just holding into this, you might want to close the eyes again. Internalizing that focus, just breathing into it, feeling the stretch in the outside of the hip. So if you do a lot of HIIT or if you do a lot of running, the IT band can often get very tight and ends up pulling on the knee, and you get niggles in the knee. But most of the time, that tension from the IT band is coming from this TFL muscle or from your glutes, which is why it's always so important to keep stretching out those hips. Good, last big breath in. And exhale. Nice. All right, gently release and bring it back. You're gonna hug the knees in nice and tight. Make yourself into a small little ball and then reach all the way out. And exhale, hug in. And reach out. And hug it in. And reach out. And hug in. Let's go one more. Hold it out there. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, sinking that tummy down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax. Palms to the ceiling. Let the legs just flop out, ankles flop out, and just close the eyes down. Just taking some nice deep breaths here. Feeling any tension in the body just melt away now. Back of the head sinking down. Shoulders sinking down. Any tension running down through the arms. Exiting the body through the fingertips. Back of the pelvis getting heavier. Back of the thighs. The calves. The feet. And again, any tension in the lower body just rushing down the legs and leaving through the soles of the feet. All the muscles in the face softening. The mouth, the eye sockets softening. Nice. All right, feel free to stay here a little bit longer if you're enjoying it. Or join me in blinking your eyes open and bringing your knees into your chest. And then rolling onto one side. Pushing the floor away and making your way up. Nice work. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit more of a restorative practice, just calming things down, opening up the body, getting some of that alignment, some of that stability, some of that control. Remember, you can do this as many times as you want, whenever you need it, whenever you feel that you need just a sense of calming. This is always a great one to come back to. Thanks for joining.